Hi, my friend. It's Pat Sloan here. It's Happy Friday. We are working on the Woodland Wonderland, and today is Gnome Day. Ta-da! Look how darling he is. He is the cutest little thing ever. Like Weeble Wobbles. Is that what they were called? They go like this? Yeah. So we have a lot of blocks done. A lot. Look at this. The wall is getting so full. There's still more. We'll be working for another few weeks on this, but I want to first show you a little bit about making the gnome and show you my red one that I'm doing as a sample, and then we'll come back. I'll give you some options and we'll talk about a few other projects going on. I am going to make him in red and white because it will go with all of these red and white ones that I'm doing for the Woodland Wonderland. So let's see what my options are. First, I got the great big bucket. This is one of two baskets of red, so I have that out. And my background for all of these, I'm doing in this cream with or off-white with a dot. So his face, in order to get the face will be, it's embedded within the beard, so the white will show up good. And then the hat will be dots, of course. So I got a few grays out to try. This one was kind of neat because it has like a texture, but it's also super light, and I'm thinking it's just not dark enough. So I think I'll go with this one because I don't want a really dark beard. I could do that, but I really don't want to. Do you know when I met Greg, he had a beard? Yeah, for the first year. He'd had it for a while. Then he's not had it since. Okay. So I think that'll work. This one will work. So the body, like a suit, I'm thinking of plaid. So I've got two plaids. The one thing about this one is it's really bold, and because there's some piecing, I'm thinking it'll be a bit distracting to try to get it to line up. And I know those of you who are allergic to plaid or hyperventilating, but I have this plaid, which I really like because it is more subdued, and I think I can definitely work out, getting the body out of this guy. Now the belt to be on the plaid, so I think I'm going to do the belt is in this lighter gray. Just do the light gray belt, and then I'll take this dark for the belt buckle. So that'll be cute, and I'll just sort of cut it along, maybe so those dots are right along the belt. Okay. So that is my plan. Here are all the pieces cut out and ready to go. Now we want to talk about the hat a little bit because it is something you need to read the directions because it's constructed just a little bit differently. Not hard, just a little different. So your brain, if you're not like on your A game, your brain's going to not adjust this properly. You don't put the hat tall. The hat goes wide like this. And I did a little mock-up because you might want to do that too, just so that you get it in your head. So this will be the hat, and you take the rectangle and you put it on top, which is going the opposite direction. Now she's drawn this out exactly like this in the book. It looks exactly like what you should be doing. She's telling you all this. You're sewing out here on air basically to get this first angle, and then you flip it. So now you can see the hat starting, and then when you take the other one and you sew it on this side, you'll sew on the line, and just when you fold it back you'll get like this, and there's the hat. You'll then flip it over and trim it to the size of the rectangle, which will be what would be going, there we go, which will be going on the top of the gnome and for his hat. So don't be stressed about this. Just take your time, read the directions, and do it exactly like she says. Here he is. Here's the little gnome in red. I just love him. I would just love to make gnomes all day long. They are just so cute, and he's pretty fast. So here is the one for the quilt from the kit. Now you will trim this so it's a little bit taller, you can see, because you'll end up trimming off a little bit up here, get him to size. I'm going to show you all the red ones, and then we're going to go back over to the design wall. So first let's take a look at all the red ones together. What do I have? Now of course I'm not making all of this. I've just made a few of them for the demos. It's like a bunch of trees. I made a lot of trees, didn't I? Those were easy. There I've got the owl and a few of the other blocks. So you can, there we go. There we go. So you can see everything that I've done. I kind of like this charcoal in the grays running in there. He could have had a gray nose. That would have been good too, but he's already done. So there you go. There's what I've made so far. Just doing the demo blocks. I love it. Okay, let's go over to the design wall. When you get to this point now, the gnome actually, let's see all the blocks there. The gnome doesn't actually take that long to do. It is pretty quick. If you get the hat right, be sure you sew them in the order that she tells you, you'll be fine. So you can move forward a little bit. Like I am thinking, I still haven't done this yet because I know I mentioned it, put the branch under the owl. And then now you have enough that you could sew, well, you don't have these trees yet, but you could sew the mushrooms and the gnome together. You could sew that part together. You could sew these trees and stars together. You can see I just didn't reach all the way up. You could sew that together. So if you're on a roll and you kind of got the gnome done, but you still want to keep working, I would say put some of those units together, or you can just work forward into the next chapter. Now I do want to tell you that there is no block 16. So you will go from the gnome is block 15, and then when you go to the next chapter, chapter 6, you start with 17. So there isn't any block 16. I think the hedgehog took it. So and I verified that with Joanna. So don't worry about that. You just keep moving forward in the book. So there's some options to go with what's happening over there. Also remember to wear your pin from the pin set. You've got the wreath that is so cute. So you wear a holiday wreath on your collar, on your jacket. You could put the cute little hedgie on your coat. Wouldn't that be cute? Oh, it's so sweet. All right, here's some other stuff. So last night, because I had all the trimmings already basted, is this right or am I upside down? No, I'm right side. So I had it already basted. Remember all the trimmings that we did earlier this year? I wanted something to work on because I had finished up another little piece, and it was like, okay, there was about an hour this evening that I feel like I can sew, but I don't want to get out and have to cut something, and this was absolutely perfect. So what I did is I started first with the wave stitch, I'm doing it horizontal because there's lots of nice horizontal lines here that I can follow. So I don't need to mark anything, at least for me, I don't need to mark anything. So basically I was following seam lines first, going horizontal. And then what I can do is go between them. So like here I sewed along the seam line, and then I sewed in the middle. Now there are sections like the one above that are deeper. So I probably will end up, to make it look even enough, have like 2 rows in here. And I might use some painter's tape, which won't leave any sticky residue. So I might mark off with some painter's tape so I could sew next to it. The thing with the wave stitch is it's going like this. So when you use painter's tape, you're trying to not sew on the tape because you don't want to take time to unpick the tape from under your stitches. So I tend to just never mark. I might put a little, what I usually do is I just put pins. I just put a couple pins like that I'm heading towards and then move them. So they're sort of marked. I'm not going to run into them or sew over them. I'm just using them as a guidepost so that I can sew towards them. And then they're fine enough. I'm not a perfectionist in this manner with these wave stitch. I just like having that texture. If you end up washing your quilt, it gets that nice crinkly feel, and then everything looks super good. But for me, the best part was that I could just do this and it was relaxing. I had some music on and just spent an hour doing all that I got done. So I did all the seams across, all of them, and then a few of the splitting them. So that I thought was pretty good for about an hour's worth of work. So it's like, That's awesome. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to show you is, because I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but they're just, you know, I just wanted to sew them up. I was actually using them to sew as the stop and the start with other patchwork, but these were from, I have stacks of these half square triangles, which were the cutaway pieces with the Christmas layer cake from the Perfect 10 book that I did, the one that's on the stack now to get binding. So I did all these. What am I going to do with them? They're so cute. I'm thinking maybe like little shoe fly blocks, because I think I have some of that fabric left. I know, because I remember I got extra of the people. So I was like thinking, well, what if I did like little shoe fly blocks, which are 4 half square triangles and a square in the middle. It's like a churn dash, but without the rectangle. I could also do friendship stars, which are basically the same thing, 4 half square triangles. But I have to trim them now. So like one night I might just do that as the thing that I do when I just need something that doesn't take a ton of brain power. Just sit and trim them, you know. So I have those. They're, I don't know. I think I want to do that. I think I want to do just some little shoe fly blocks and then see how many it ends up with. And I could alternate those with a piece of you know, background fabric or a piece of printed fabric, so alternating, so I could get something and use it like as a charity quilt or something like that. Okay, also I didn't show you, did I mention my t-shirt? Look how cute. This one I got last year, I think. I was looking through the drawer and I was like, oh, I forgot I had that. I've got, you know, these holiday ones, you just wear them in that month, and then, well, at least for me, I forget I have them. I have to go look in that part of the drawer, the clothing drawer. Okay, so if you don't have your pins yet, you should get them. You link down below and at my website. You're going to do Woodland Wonderland. You just need to make gnomes. All the gnomes, all the gnomes. They're so cute. Here's my red one again. Ta-dee! All right, my friend, I love you. Mwah. See you online.